Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. This is your boy, Brother Shamar Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Destroy Them, which destroyeth the earth. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Destroy Them, which destroyeth the earth. All right, and we know that the wicked is bearing rule, and they could care less about any and everything. All right, and I just came across this article, NPR, right? It says destroying endangered species habitat wouldn't count as harm under proposed Trump rule. So it says the Trump administration is proposing to significantly limit the Endangered Species Act's power to preserve crucial habitat by changing the definition of one word, harm. It says on Wednesday, the administration proposed a rule change that would essentially prohibit only actions that directly hurt or kill actual animals, not the habitats they rely on. If finalized, the change could make it easier to log, mine, and build on lands that endangered species need to thrive. It says habitat loss is the biggest single cause of extinction in endangered species. It makes sense to address it, Brett Hartle, Government Affairs Director of the Center of Biological Diversity, said he called efforts to deny that cause callous and reckless. It says any conservation gains species were making will be reversed. We're going to see losses again, he said. It says under the Endangered Species Act, it is illegal to take an endangered species by law. Take is defined to mean actions that harass, harm, or kill species. It says for decades, federal agencies have interpreted harm broadly to include actions that modify or degrade habitats in ways that impair endangered species' ability to feed, breed, or find shelter. The interpretation has been a crucial part of how Endangered Species Act has protected over 1,700 species since the passage in 1973, said Hartle. It's helped preserve spawning grounds for Atlantic sturgeon, allowing them to mate and sustain the population. It's protected old growth forests in Pacific Northwest that house northern spotted owls and red cockered woodpeckers, saving them from extinction. It says in the 1990s, timber companies that wanted to harvest those old growth forests challenged the government's broad interpretation of harm. The Supreme Court ultimately upheld that interpretation in a 6-3 decision. It says in a dissenting opinion, Justice Antonin Scalia disagreed with the interpretation. He argued that in the context of wild animals, take should be interpreted more likely as an affirmative act directed against a particular animal and not an act that indirectly causes injury to a population. It says the Trump administration cites Scalia's argument in its proposal, saying it's undertaking this change to adhere to the single best meaning of the ESA. Conservation experts argue it makes no sense to adopt such a narrow definition of harm if you're a prairie chicken in the Southwest and there's no oil and gas developer and they want to destroy your prime breeding display grounds. The bird can't mate. It says you're not actually harming any of them directly, he said, but in the end, results is essentially the same. It says the public has 30 days to comment on the proposed rule change. The move will also likely be challenged in court. All right. And these are the things, right? This is, the people that we have ruling over us. All right. Where, they're trying to make different claims about, what is harm and, but we know, right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. So let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 9. And verse number 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay. We understand, man, this devil, he wants everything. Nothing's ever good enough, right? What does it say? What is that? Salaki, I'm just looking it up. Micah, right? Let's go to the book of Micah real quick. Oops, Salaki. Micah chapter 2 and verse number 2. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. It's and ultimately, this man is so wicked, right? Start with, talk about the Edomites, starting with those top banker families on down, right? And their greed is so much, right, that they'll even destroy, the earths and the animals, right, for their gain. Okay. So it says they covet fields, right? They want pieces of land, right? The land that the animals have been in. That's why you see, a lot of these encounters of wild animals in a lot of these areas, because they've built out into their land. Where are these animals supposed to go? All right. And then when they come in too close to what do? They take them away. They shoot them. They do different things. Right. And then they say they're endangered, but you've taken away their land. Right. Not only did they take away man's land, but then they take away the animals' lands. Right. Because of their greed. OK, because of their greed, their greediness. All right. And this is why this devil must go down, man. Right. Because he can never get enough. He can never get his fill. Right. Obadiah. Let's see. This is Obadiah, right? Verse 5, it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Okay. In the NLT, it says, if thieves came at night and robbed you, what a disaster awaits you. It says they would not take everything. Those who harvest grapes always leave a few for the poor, but your enemies will wipe you out completely, right? That's what this devil does. He tries to take everything, any and everything, right? The animal's land, your land, right? He can never have enough. All right. He can never have enough. Okay. And we go to the book of Isaiah, right? Isaiah 24. And verse number 4, right? Let's get to the point. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. It says, the land languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. All right. And that's what we see, man. Right. The earth is mourning. Okay? Because what does this devil do? He just takes everything, right? Like a cancer, right? Just spreads, right? Just takes over and covets everything, from the land to the sea. Okay? Dumping trash out in the oceans, right? And just taking over everybody's land, right? Even the animals, right? Destroying it, polluting it, you know, and why? To get more gain, to gain more possessions. Okay, at the end of the day, right? And the earth is the earth even feels it. The earth is mourning. What is that? In the book of Romans, right? Romans chapter 8. And let's go to verse number verse number 19, right? It says, we'll start at verse 18, right? It says, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us," right? It says, "For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High," right? Why do they because the scriptures tell you, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right, and we see the people mourning. Even the earth is mourning. Even the animals are mourning. All right, because this wicked, the wicked that the Bible speaks of, right? His whole thing is about just controlling and taking over everything at the end of the day. All right, verse 19 in the NLT, it says, "For all creation is waiting eagerly for that future day when the Most High will reveal who his children really are." Okay, and we see that in this great awakening that's happening now. All right, where the children of Israel, right, where it was said, "We are not that the people," there shall be said, "You are the sons of the living power," right? Just paraphrasing, okay? And we see that happening, okay? But we understand right now the earth is mourning, all right? And the time is coming, right, where this devil is going to be taken down and destroyed. And he has to be destroyed, right? Revelation 11, when you had to go to ruling to talk about, should you save the animals of the earth, and we know this devil doesn't care, because he don't even care about the Most High's chosen children. He doesn't care about them. What more would he care about the earth and the other things? This is why, and the Lord is showing why this devil shouldn't be in rulership, right? While a lot of our people trust in this system, while they trust in this man, and all he's doing is destroying everything. All right. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18, it says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great." It says, "And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Okay, and that's ultimately what Yahawah Bahasham is going to do. He's going to destroy them which destroyeth the earth. Okay. It says, in the NLT, it says, "The nations were filled with wrath, but now the time of your wrath has come." It says, "It is time to judge the dead and reward your servants, the prophets, as well as your holy people, and all who fear your name, from the least to the greatest. It is time to destroy all who have caused destruction on the earth." All right. And who is that? That's the wicked, right? Esau, Edom. All right. From those top banking families on down, right? The Lord is going to have to destroy them. All right. And put things in their proper order. And that's what we're looking for. That's what all creation is looking for at the end of the day. All right. Because all creation is mourning because of this devil. All right. And ultimately, The Lord is going to destroy him and set this place back in its rightful order. You know, me and my Aki, we always talking about it. You know, man, what would it be like to breathe in fresh air, right? What would it be like to drink real, actual clean water? You know, we don't know, right? And neither do some of these creatures, right? Who are living and getting their stuff destroyed, you know, at the end of the day. So I just want to do this quick lesson, right? Lord's with us was edifying, right? With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, a mighty shalom to the 144,000 men and to the rest of the elect. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another, right? Continue to pray, man, for the downfall of this place, man, of Babylon the Great, man, right? Cry day and night, you know, unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, you know, and pray that he hears our cries and delivers us and destroys this place with a speedy riddance, all right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. All right. And with that, I say shalom.